Welcome to FixFitness, guys. The last episode of 2019. While Mark stays skinny.
It's the lean bulk season.
Lean bulk. When everyone else is getting fat, Mark is getting skinnier as usual. Everybody's gaining weight right now, and you are losing it. Are you still on carnivore?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Good for you. Throughout the holidays, too, huh?
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Tell me you got some cheat days.
Yeah, I just ate whatever.
Yeah. Like carbs and alcohol?
Yeah.
Were you a normal human?
I don't count alcohol in the diet.
I'm pretty sure White Claws and Trulies don't have any carbs, so we're good, right?
That's what the benefit of a White Claw is.
No bloating, no weight gain.
Yeah. We should
Just
get
like,
sponsored by the Claw.
Dude. No, I want to be sponsored by Truly. Of course.
Nah.
That's like, vegan baked goods or what is it? What did someone give us? Pumpkin bread that was like, organic and stuff. It's like, can't get fat from that. Be good.
Because it's vegan?
Less of a cheat. Yeah, because of that. But man, end of 2019.
We did it.
We did.
As long as we get this one out in the air, we would have hit one episode a week.
Since at least like
when we started.
Early March, I think, is when it started. So we'll hit a 1 year mark for it in a few months, but
the rest of the year was the goal.
Yeah, throughout the crazy scheduling and stuff, we had to do some multiple recordings there. But even right now, I mean, we're like a couple days away from the new year, and we're still hitting it. So
thanks to our loyal listener.
Just Janice.
Just Janice.
Thanks to Janice.
I think Monty listens regularly.
He does.
And anyone else that actually listens regularly, we thank you.
Yeah,
sticking with us for 40-something weeks.
It's true. And some people are behind a few, so maybe they
just started. They just started listening,
They could go back to. That's what's weird is when they say they're listening to an episode from like 3-4 months ago or something. I'm like, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's got to be difficult to remember what we were talking about until we go back.
I don't go back. I listen to it every week after, and then I never go back. That'd be weird. But
maybe one day.
Maybe if we're too busy to record in the future. But right now we have the programming going. It's 3 weeks in? The seminar?
It's starting the third week, right? Shit, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's that, like the meme says, like you're in that, you don't know what day it is, you're just filled with cheese right now.
It's starting the third week. I just figured it out in my head. Because the first 2 weeks was what we considered on-ramp.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to learn the basic, like, activation movements, the piston, the anchor press.
Yeah.
The lat hinge, and then also practice the way of lifting that, because then you'll learn a lot. We want people to find their imbalance and figure out.
Now it's time to hit the ground.
Yeah, now it's incorporating, a lot more of that fixed fit jack stuff. Plus, when we're lifting, now it's time to really push the envelope on the weights because we want to actually build strength and to test the structure.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't really officially locked down that throwdown day either to just kind of come test your PRs.
I think it's the second or something around there.
Once we lock that down and give people like a solid 4 weeks notice, like that will give them a good.
That's more than people have the attention span for these days. We used to do a lot of programs, and I think there were like maybe 8 or 12 weeks, like Olympic lifting or powerlifting cycles. But I think now this was 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was the height of the popularity. I don't think people have that attention span to stick to something more than like 4 weeks. It's hard.
That's what especially throughout the holidays, people were sick, traveling, lack of time to make it to the gym. It was just madness. And the holidays fell on a weird, like, Wednesday this year for everything.
Yep.
Wednesday New Year's, Wednesday Christmas, like, that's screwed up. People's work schedules are crazy, too, because, like, I know a lot of people are working today and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And it's like, usually you're, like, 3-day, 4-day weekend on that kind of a... Next year will be. I saw 2020 has got
everyone's talking about
good holidays on the leap year, man. I can't wait.
I think another issue this year everyone talks about is that Thanksgiving was like a week later, so you're behind since then.
Everybody's been just lagging. So, but New Year, fresh start.
It's a good time for some goals.
Such a cliche time to be like, new year, new me. Gotta start eating clean, but it's like, dude, every year it's like, especially this one feels like it, where everybody's just like letting it go. Yep. And then they're like, no, for reals, we're starting up January 2nd, January 6th, that Monday, like we're gonna hit the ground running on diets and working out again. And I've been hearing a lot of that talk.
Well, you're saying that like, you know, maybe it's placebo or cliche, but it works.
It fucking works.
It works.
Why not?
If it's there, why don't you use it as a positive and just fucking roll with it?
Right.
You can say, oh man, we do this every year, so then...
I feel like other years people have been like, I don't want to do that cliche thing. Like, I try to be good all year round. This year, though, I feel like the gamut, like family I've talked to, too, are just like, oh, God, I got to clean it up next year.
Yeah.
Like, 2019 was rough. I'm going to, like, really clean it up. And I'm like, that's... This year, I think it honestly probably because of Thanksgiving, just people have been super stressed. So with stress comes weight gain and cortisol levels are up.
And you don't want to work out because you're eating like shit and probably just masking or at night drinking it away.
Yeah. That doesn't sound relatable. Yeah. You know, not to me at least.
I've been perfect all year.
No, dude. Seriously, since like November, like barbells for boobs. It's just been nuts since then. November 2nd. That was like first week.
It feels like it's been
the bike-a-thon.
Rough all year. And, you know, we're a business of community, right? Where we just have so many different people and I interact with some people. It's like this year has been... This year, it's just been I think a trying year or a big year for the majority of the people. Mm-hmm. Major life changes, you know.
Throw a freaking seminar, our first ever seminar in the middle of that, because why not?
Yeah. Why not? It's our first year. What can go wrong? Not like we have our own
businesses. We do a lot of trial
and
by
other
fire.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a baby to watch and buy a new house. You know, no big deal.
I know, dude. And personnel changes constantly within businesses. Like, it's a lot, but I'm really excited for 2020 and setting some new goals. And that's where we just met and went over, like, just new goals for the new year. Which is great to set, too, because why not, man? Like, it is a reset. Hit that restart button and then kind of reassess yourself. And we kind of went at it with rather than saying very vague, I want to lose X amount of pounds, I want to run more, I want to go to yoga once a week, you know, it's like
start a new exercise regimen.
Yeah, don't make it so arbitrary like that. Make it more like we're saying athletes are the best way to do it, right? So like my example was if a UFC fighter's like, I'm fighting at 170 pounds on April 3rd, you know, it's like they have a training camp. They have a day one training camp. They have coaches that surround them for nutrition, performance, strength and training, and they're held accountable every single day until they get to that date. And then once that fight's over, they reassess, they take a break and, you know, get fat again and eat whatever they want and drink whatever they want, they party it up and celebrate.
Yep.
And then they go right back to practice, right? And
for their next season's goal or next event, next fight.
My short off season where I'm going to just work on some, you know, simple coaching or simple training days, and then I'm going to reset a new goal, right? Like another date. So we're going to encourage a lot of people in FixFit to like have that athletic mindset to set dates and set specific goals.
Well, it's like we want you to utilize, you know, some of the stuff that the concepts and principles of the FixFit model or whatever to apply it to your goal setting. So if you want to start, you know, try F45 or try CrossFit or try anything, start a pickup league or for basketball. Like, you should prep for it. Don't just go in there and say, hey, I haven't done shit in 6 months. I'm going to go play basketball.
Right. I need to get in shape.
I'm going to jump into CrossFit, let's say, which is a lot of shit. And yes, they modify things. That is a conversation with the new person. It's like the coach is there to facilitate a class, and they're going to help you modify per movement. But it's on your responsibility on how you prep for it.
Right.
And how you're taking care of yourself. What if you're drinking every night, then rolling into class and you haven't worked out in months? Mm-hmm. That's on you, right?
Right.
And having the FixFit concepts, you know, in your back pocket as a tool, when you set the goals, like if you're going to start something, you better do some fucking pistons before you show up to class.
Sure. Just
get your muscles moving, get your joints moving, fire your obliques a little bit before. Don't just sit in the, you know, you're stressed out at work because it's the new year, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to do this.
And the FixFit concept starts off, every other day, technically. You don't even have to overwhelm yourself with, I got to show up to F45 5 days a week. I gotta shed this amount of weight, because it's like let's say in the first month of January you shed 8 pounds and you're like, I feel better, I detoxed myself and I went to F45 or Orange Theory 5 days a week for the first month. Then what? Are you just gonna like take your foot off the gas? Or you just gonna keep going? But like there's still no
definitive goal.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's like, hey, I'm feeling better at the end of January or early February, I want to run a half marathon in May. There's your date. Now you have a training camp where you're gonna have to be like, I have to surround myself with like a running coach. I'm gonna incorporate FixFit into my life. My nutrition is gonna be on point. I'm not gonna have a cheat day until then. That kind of stuff. Then you start holding yourself accountable like each day.
Yeah.
But unless you're a self-motivated type that you just work out like crazy all the time, like that's good. But I still think like you can, hopefully for the people struggling right now, they could write something down.
That's not the masses, right?
Right.
Self-motivated. We're always, our approach is always trying to hit the masses with what we're doing here. So
yeah,
it's very rare that people are self-motivated.
True. But I mean, the people that lack that, they show up to those classes every day, and they like in that hamster wheel, right? Like, oh, I made it 5 days a week.
Checking it off, right?
Yeah, I checked it off. I went 5 days a week. Now what? I think it personally to write down like a dated goal of something, like you did with the 4th of July 500-pound deadlift. That's why it's so easy to get there, or it flew by in your training and you had fun getting there because you're like, this date, I am hitting this.
Well, in our FixFit Concepts program right now, we had a questionnaire go out, or intake form, and we wanted people to write down tangible goals with dates and stuff and lifts, because having no knee pain or no low back pain, that's a good goal, but how do you quantify that?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, it's my knees from a 10 to a 2. It doesn't motivate you enough. But if you're like, by the end of the FixFit Concept seminar, I want to run a mile,
right? Not
just without pain, right?
Yes.
Like one person in the group, but it's like, give it a number.
Yeah.
So you're creeping closer to that time goal, not just like the ceiling is no knee pain when I run. It's just like not enough. But if you could run a 8-minute mile, and you haven't done that in years, that's way more exciting. That'll keep you more motivated, because there's a lot of times in that 500-pound deadlift, tired of eating, tired of lifting and training, and since that goal was so public and it's such a substantial goal that would mean a lot to me, I had to push through those sticking points. Or normally I just quit. If my goal is just to get stronger, I can't quantify that. It's like, I feel a little stronger. Yeah.
You want to make it to where it's easy to motivate yourself to get to those training days, right? Like when you're saying how bulked up you got for the 500-pound dead, you knew that needed to happen, and looking back you saw it happen. But when you were in the trenches doing it each day, how easy was it to get to the gym to do your FixFit Jack stuff when you knew that date was coming?
Well, that's the benefit of having that a goal that you can quantify a number, because you can feel the progress and you can see the progress.
Right.
Like I'm creeping. It's not like I hit 500 in the first month, right?
Right.
But I'm like, oh shit, I'm at 415. I'm at 425.
You kept retesting along the way.
And you want to keep going back in to keep testing again, to see how close you are to that goal. So when you see and feel progress, that's going to keep you more motivated. Yeah. That's why I was excited to go in, because I was like, okay, this is working. I want to do more of it,
Right.
So you can't tell if it's like, if you have like a goal that's like no knee pain, if the pain's gone, you're not feeling it, you're probably not even thinking about it. So that's not going to get your ass up to go to the gym or.
Right. But also if you're retesting it, like you said, if you're running like a mile and it's like, oh, it's a 10-minute mile still, but I have no knee pain.
Yeah.
Now I train a little harder. Maybe it's a 9:30 mile next time. Still no knee pain? Dope. Like just keep going. Like it will make you want to keep going to test it, but not every day.
Yeah.
Like testing out your mile run each day, because it is tough. Pain is perceived in different ways, and for some people it's so debilitating that it's like, well, I mean, what are you gonna?
They've given up. Like I think a lot of people, when they're in such debilitating pain, is like they give up setting big goals like you're talking about.
Or they are apprehensive to start trying towards something, like I'm not going to join a F45 or CrossFit yet because my knee hurts.
Or I can't sign up again for my basketball league because it's just my back hurts. My back's, I've been playing for 5 years or whatever, and it's like,
right.
now it's the time to do something where you figured out the issues, right? It's like, all right, how do you prep for these goals? You still need to set that goal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna sign up and play, spring rec league basketball, right?
Exactly.
But you have now until then to do shit to get you ready for that, and then your goal is to play that, every game, no injury,
Yes.
that type of shit.
Yep.
And it's like there's a time and date versus just like, all right, January 1st, I'm going to jump right into this blind.
Right.
And then, like, what are you expecting from it? You can't.
That's what's hard. Yeah? You jump into a hamster wheel, like I said, and you come out the other end like a little positive. But like I was telling you, the last time I met with my MD and I did my blood work, he checked height, weight, and he was like, how you feeling? I'm like, I feel good. Like, he's like, okay, like, this is the best I've seen you. What are you going to do next? I'm like, oh, well, I'd aesthetically like to lose more weight. And he's like, okay, well, you know what you need to do? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, then, what else can I do for you now?
Yeah.
He's like,
it's on you to fucking make a real substantial goal, not just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll dabble in this, But
where I struggled was like, oh, but all the external factors, right? Like you said, having a business, you have family, you got life events changing things, and it's like lost sight of the goal.
Yeah.
But if the goal is aesthetically look better and get told at Christmas time, hey, look, you look like you're dropping weight. Cool, but
can't
like
quantify that, and there's no end date.
Yeah, it feels good, and that takes away, makes your pain levels drop. Oh yeah, suddenly my low back doesn't hurt. I lost all this weight.
That one compliment made me deadlift 500 pounds.
But like after that, I was like, okay, it goes back to Robin. I steal that phrase from her all the time. Like, you got to functional.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get to optimal?
Yeah.
Without a clear-cut goal, I think you're a lot like I am, where I'm like, I need that date to go towards.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just like chasing small little victories here and there, but it's like those don't mean as much if you're not building towards like a bigger goal.
Yeah, maybe use that term or that phrase is like, going from dysfunction to functional to optimal.
Mm-hmm.
What Robin said, we love that. Set an optimal goal. Mm-hmm. Don't set a fucking functional goal where it's just like, I just want to walk down the block, no knee pain or something like that, right? Like, well, maybe you could go, by the end of it, go for like jog a mile at 10-minute pace. That's an optimal goal. That's where you want to be,
right? Not
just like, oh, I want to get off the couch and my knee and my back's okay. Like, yes, that will come, but that's not a, you're already living with it for so long, you probably don't even care.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm not going to get up out of the gym. It's like, yeah, it's always going to be there.
I think that, especially since the New Year's rolling around, dabble in something new, maybe. Like, for me, starting to pick up jiu-jitsu again, I went, you know what, next year I should compete. Because when I compete, there's that training camp mentality. Here's a date, here's a weight you need to get to. You have to set your training camp up. I have to have nutrition, I have to have a coach, I have to have teammates around me to help me train to get there, and that's how I've always grown up, in that mentality. So it's like I have to redo it. But I didn't even know to put that on my calendar 6 months ago, because I would have just been like,
I can't, I don't have time,
I don't got the space, I don't have the time for it, yeah, like I don't have a coach, or like all that kind of bullshit that you just cloud yourself with. But now I'm like, well, I dabbled back in it again, re-loved it again, so if that's running for somebody, if that's a hiking to a summit, some kind of trail that you've always wanted to do, but you just stopped trying to get there.
Yeah.
Because we have a hiker right now that's about to go do a huge trail, that it's requiring a lot of training, and there's odd recoveries that have to happen to it.
Yeah.
Remember, like, we were talking, like, Aaron's feet were sore from, and it's like,
the workshop.
Yeah, it's like hiking is giving you plantar fasciitis, and it's like there's some speed bumps, but FixFit still helped her feet get a little bit stronger for hiking and summiting a giant trail in a couple weeks here. Actually, she gets to go do that, so that's cool. She has like an off season to train for that, but there's still an arbitrary date set for her. So even with a hike, you can still do it.
Yeah, it's like anything that's a physical activity. You got to view yourself as like training like an athlete for it, or you're just going to go in blindly. And I think the easiest way to we self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Everyone that's going to start anything, that's some sort of exercise, their fitness hobby, they're going to get after it, and then self-sabotage comes in because they're just going to hit a wall at a certain point because they lose motivation or they get injured. you know?
Or it hurts in the beginning.
And it hurts
when
it
you're
because
detoxing and
but if you go in without a plan, right?
yeah.
That's going to be the problem because you're going to have all these like negative thoughts creeping. Oh, this isn't working. I'm not losing the weight, or my knees are hurting, or, you know, it's not fun anymore. It's like you didn't even go into it planning it out. Then obviously you're going to fail, you know? It just happens. It's hard to just jump into something without having, you know, like you said, an actual goal of it. If you're just going to do it for the sake of doing it, that's going to run its course real quick.
But I just think some people are like, you know, I don't want to run a half. I don't want to summit a trail. What do I got? You know, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Try something new.
Yeah, make it something interesting, because if it's not working, try something different.
What if you're just like, I like weightlifting a little bit, like pick a back squat PR. That's without back pain.
That's a good point, because like when I typically, the way that we learn powerlifting or lifting in general is you stick to the powerlifting rules or Olympic weightlifting rules. So typically I would have set a goal like, okay, I want my powerlifting total to go up, right?
Right.
I just pick one lift, and it's because I've always wanted to hit that in my life, and it's a lift that I like. So I just did deadlift. See what I'm saying? It's like you don't have to just go back to the traditional norms if it's already like exhausted, right?
For our CrossFitters, it's easy to pick snatch or clean and jerk because typically they like Olympic weightlifting, right? So we're thinking like along the lines of other people that are just like
do a 300-pound power clean, whatever. Yeah. It's just one. It could be anything
you want. But it's helpful to get that going, and you might find out. Like I found out that I want to compete again in jiu-jitsu because I dabbled in it again, right? Like I didn't go into it going like that was like the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, I've seen Cap do it healthily, you know, that was a good motivational tool for me to see like, hey, Cap's like 50, 2 kids, and he got to his weight and he's competing, but it didn't kill him. Because his mentality isn't, I'm going there to like fucking take gold and take arms home with me, you know what I mean?
You don't start day one of wanting to compete, right? You just got to dabble.
But it's just like in the younger days of competing, it was like, I'm going to go win.
Yeah.
And at all costs. And I'm going to train twice a day. And my nutrition was shit. And I had way less going on in my life too. You know, just go to school. And school was like, college, like, oh my God, dude, you don't... Like you were saying, like you got one class a day.
Yeah.
And I skipped that class.
Yep.
That's no
when
stress.
You're not motivated, it's hard.
So, like, the mentality's totally different now. I just feel like I want to do it more, you know, intelligently and see that I can do that.
Well, we also figured out with like the FixFit stuff, it's like training smarter. It's kind of the goal. We want to be able to strength train or exercise. We want more results with the least amount of time of training, right? And so hopefully setting a goal is going to allow you to be motivated to practice the FixFit stuff. Because without it, what we realize is that we don't do it. That's why we have this FixFit concept program, is because we're all held accountable to a program, an end date.
Right.
Because I posted multiple times throughout the holiday, like, I wouldn't be in here this week if it wasn't for this program.
Yeah.
But we have a big goal. It's like we want to see how this concept program plays out, you know? And I didn't, like, after the deadlift, it's essentially off season, which is important because you want to train for something. You can't just keep, you know, we were talking about like 90-day programs and stuff. You can't just keep that 90-day program intensity up, commitment up year round. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's like once I was done with my 500-pound deadlift, it's natural for the mind and body to just chill a little, to reevaluate, set some new goals later, and for me to completely not do anything.
Yeah.
And I was just dabbling and jumping in a workout for fun, but I wasn't doing my like pistons every day and my oblique open.
Yeah, remember you said my new goal is to maintain the strength and apply it to CrossFit, because CrossFit was your sport. Arbitrary again, right? It wasn't like I'm going to finish the open I remember asking you that. I think DJ was in on this episode where I was like, is your goal to beat DJ 5 weeks in a row, or like where do you quantify what that means? And it was hard to do, right?
It was, and I think to sum it up, that's like the off. I just came off of like the in season. This was the off season, and the open fell into that in the holidays,
which is weird timing with the holidays. Yeah,
it doubled the open, and so what I was probably trying to articulate, that was my off season. Like, I'm just trying to keep moving to not fully, like, not do shit for 3 months.
But you want to see if the strength from the deadlift would apply to
just
CrossFit workouts.
It's like, how long can I, like, I had savings of strength, right?
Right.
How long did it take for me to, like, exhaust my savings?
Right,
just by not doing shit. I wasn't doing, like, all the FixFit stuff. And because I didn't have a goal, but it's okay because that was the time to not have a goal. You know what I mean? I was just having fun. So now it's time to set some goals to take advantage of this new year, new me.
Join me, man. I've been researching these jiu-jitsu tournaments. It's goal weight for you if you want to freaking tack on weight. It'd be the opposite of me cutting weight.
I'll take the weight.
My thing is, you want the lighter weight class.
Yeah, I don't see myself putting on any amount of significant weight, especially with the carnivore diet right now. Supposedly, it's like a 3 to 6 month adaptation where your muscles like kind of feel flat, and because you kind of like you lose a lot of water in the muscle and all that, and then after the 3 to 6 months, your body starts to put on a lot of muscle. So
then I'll be deadlifting 500 pounds again.
That'd be pretty insane. I don't know. Because then I'll be like...
Sean Baker.
I lost 16 pounds like in a month and a half or 2 months after the deadlift. But then again, I wasn't like all lean muscle mass. I put on like a equal amount of fat and muscle for the deadlift. So
Patted on the fat.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I have to do some thinking too with our conversation and stuff. But we definitely, even for the FixFit concepts, I had some arbitrary goals, you know. But I do need something that's more substantial and motivating, like that 500-pound deadlift.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stoked to get into the training where we're going to do a lot of lifting, get stronger there. But it's still like getting stronger at this body weight isn't as exciting as a 500-pound deadlift. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw a tournament in April, and I'm like hesitant to circle it because I'm just like, is that too early? I think I need more training. Like, it's like, but then it's like, why not?
It's always going to be too early.
Exactly.
You're always going to need more time to train. You're always going to need more time in the day, time in the week. I mean,
I think the rule of thumb is like you sign up for it and pay, and then you're like, oh shit, now I fucking have to. But it's like, I think I want a little more time. Like May, June would be like perfect.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there. So it's like April might be like why you have to, 3 months is enough.
It reminds me is like, I went back, I just thought of it right now where it's like, what made me set that 500-pound deadlift goal? And I think it's like, you want to be at your like, so quote unquote lowest point, right? So I remember I was trying to get back to working out.
That's right.
In the beginning of the year, it took like 2 months off of just being at CrossFit Sun and this and that. I was helping my mom, with her cancer, and I like after all that, after we stayed in the hospital after a procedure, I was like just trying to get for a couple weeks, like get back into the gym to work out, and I had like nothing. So I'm like my lowest point of like no fitness, no motivation.
I remember that.
I couldn't do shit, so I posted on Instagram. I need something. So in my mind, it was the same thing. It's like, oh, I there's no way I can deadlift 500 pounds because I think I went in to test it to see where I was at. I was like 375, like tweaked my back. I was like, so all the stars were not aligned.
8 weeks?
It was about 8 weeks.
Yeah, because I remember that too, being like,
and like end of April to July or something.
We could probably go back on the podcast saying like you should do it on 4th of July. Yeah, and then all of a sudden being like, yep, that's.
And a lot of people, like, I posted on Instagram, like, oh, no, don't do that. Yeah. Like, they're, like, worried about my health. So...
Because it was quick.
Again, it's, like, such a substantial goal. And at that point, it's good to have something where it take you out of the funk, Yeah. And the journey, the process of going through the, setting a goal and going through the ups and downs, that's the fun of it,
Yeah, maybe I should make it more public. Because that's what you did, I remember. And then you didn't necessarily need the community to rally around you to do it, but that's what's happening behind the scenes. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
By putting it out there, like, everybody's holding your ass accountable without even trying. You're not putting it out there going like, hey guys, I need you. Yeah. But it's like, hey, I'm training for this, I'm training for that. People show up to your workouts. I'm training for this, I'm training for that. People are asking, how's training going? Where are you at for the 500-pound dead? And
yeah, you can't hide.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, or then it's not an optimal goal again, right? Because it has to be something where it's public and people know that there's a chance of failure.
Yes.
That's where it's optimal. Because if there's no chance of failing and you're just keeping it behind the scenes, and you're like, oh, this is for me. No, it's bullshit. Like,
that's what I was thinking.
You need if you sign up for the jiu-jitsu tournament,
make it public.
You have to.
Because
tell a lot of people. It don't have to be like fucking. I mean, it can be for you probably. Will be like posted online or social media. But if you tell a bunch of people your goals, that's important because now there's the risk of failing. And then you have to kind of face failure to all the people you've told, you know?
Exactly, and that's where I'm fearing posting it. Because it's almost like I want to just hide it and just be like,
yeah,
you're losing a bunch of weight. What's going on? I gotta make a weight class for something. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Because I might not make it.
Yeah.
You know? So, but it's like, if you fail, you fail. And
we were joking around about that right before this. Like, gosh, I mean, like, thank God that the 500-pound deadlift went up. Like, it could have been like, oh, I missed it. Or what's even worse, I could have, like, blew out my back. I could shit myself like I throw up on one of those fail videos, and it would be a way different.
Spew out the puke across the all the way onto the whiteboard.
And we say this because guess what? Those thoughts are going through my head all the time, and especially the day before, and that's the real
tapped out.
Yeah,
right in front of everyone.
Yeah, you get choked out, unconscious.
Yeah, thanks.
That'd be great.
Well, that's more motivation to go down a weight class. That's the weight I'm at now. There's probably some gorillas I'd have to tangle with. And
how much do you weigh right now?
Probably like 230.
230.
I haven't stepped on a scale. Waiting till that January 2nd. January 2nd morning.
So you haven't stepped on a scale before or after Thanksgiving?
It's been a while, man. Maybe since I moved. I think
Ireland.
When we moved in Ireland. In August, I think when we moved, I put it somewhere and went, I don't need to take that thing out for a while. We're good. I mean, there's there really was no arbitrary goal for me to hit while that was happening. Yeah. But I did buy that goal to get to, and so what's funny is like, the goal was to like get down to low 200s, sub 210. Yep. And I remember sitting down with my MD multiple times, and he's like, where are you at? Like, according to this, it's like 225, 227, 222 was like the lowest. And he's just like, you're looking great though. And I'm like, I mean, compared to when I first started with him. And I'm like, yeah, and I feel good. And he's just like, I don't know why this weight's not shedding. I'm like, because I don't know either. Like, I have no reason to get to that. Like, I just wanted to get to the functional part. Yeah. To that goal. But I was like, no, I do want to get to that still. And then he's like, that's when he was like, well, you know how to do it.
Yeah, it's like, do you really want to get there?
Why do you want to get there? And I'm like, I don't know, just like aesthetics. And he's like, well, then go for it. Like, what?
But unfortunately, that's not enough for you to actually get you going. Yeah.
No, definitely not. Because then it's easy to make we just got back from Ireland and we're moving.
Yeah, I'll just wait. It didn't really work out with my schedule.
It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And
what we found is, like we talk about this whole time, is you just gotta put yourself out there where something that's scary, something that's exciting, like a goal. That optimal goal has to have a little balance of both of those, right? Yeah. It's like a lifetime achievement, and also like that shit, I probably might not make it,
Mm-hmm. And it
has to make you uncomfortable.
The only thing that makes me feel good about it all was if I would have set a goal like that maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I would have been really far behind in terms of like, you know what I mean? Like, a one workout could murder me kind of thing. And it was unhealthy, and it would have been probably an unhealthy weight cut. It would have been a different mentality. Yeah, you're cramming just to get it done versus like actually having a full plan, like we talked about for this training camp or whatever, to get you to do it the right way. I also saw I enter a master's category, master 30s. So once I saw I can't face a 21-year-old Brazilian, I'm fucking feel a little bit better. But did you see the twin Brazilian kids that just got their purple belts at Atos? No. Oh my god, I was talking to the guy about this. They just got their purple belt. They are like 21. So it's funny I threw out that arbitrary number, but they really are only 21. Yeah. And they just got purple belts. And I was like, what the hell? What's going on with this? Like, what? They came up through that Gracie system or whatever, so they did like, gray belt, yellow belt, so they just now got their purple for next year. I think you can't even get a real like blue belt until you're 16 or something. Right.
something like that.
So they have just been murdering people at tournaments, dude.
They're like a blue belt, but they've been a technical blue belt for like 12 years
said,
or whatever.
They were black. Like they didn't even get a white belt. They went straight to blue belt when they came to the States.
Of course,
because they were like, we can't give you a white belt. You literally might kill somebody at a tournament. So now they've been just murking people, and now they're purples at 21, and now all these purple belts are like, motherfucker. Like that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, thank God I'm in that 30 category, because that 21, what, dude? Like, and if you sign up for Worlds or something, those guys are there. Just, oh man, you're in a world of
one day at a time, bro.
Jesus Christ. But I enter that 30 category. That's why I felt like for Cap too, and he was like, I get to go to that 50 and over thing. It's like, that's not saying that he's gonna face anybody lesser, but it's more equal.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure it's equal.
Versus if
I was waiting to turn 35. And I was like, I'm going to start all my competitions at 35 or 40 just because it's an equal playing field. But that's also a mindset of training for something, right?
That's
it's
where
like,
I was getting at.
It's like...
I'm not saying I want to get to that one because I can win that one.
Because it's easy.
And it's easier. But it's more like the 24, 25-year-old that's competing to win, and me at 31, 32 going like, I'm just competing to stay in shape. We have two different mindsets.
Yep. And
I'm not trying to get my arm ripped off.
By some kid, hungover college kid. That's just like, all right, rolls in.
Yep. But I think I only competed at white belt, so I never really got to see that. Like the white belts I competed with were pretty even.
Yeah. And
we had some pretty stalemate matches, but I can imagine like at the next levels, the blue and purple probably like, dude, you could face a killer. You gotta really, really train.
I think that's why I'm hesitant. You're like, jump on my goal, because I've always wanted to get back into jiu-jitsu, and I still do, but I think the way I've experienced it before, right? But I just know that the time that I have to put into training for it, like planning it out, it's not feasible currently.
Yeah,
because like what you're talking about too, just playing it out, that's a lot. Prep, nutrition, training, get you ready for even just
what I envisioned and kind of wrote out was like, I think FixFit as your strength would be good, and then CrossFit as your conditioning, and then the jiu-jitsu is really just
technical.
Yeah, and not I need to get into shape for like 2-day matches, 2 days worth of matches. You know, like it's my season. Like if it's wrestling season or something, like you need to get in shape for that long run that you don't get hurt.
Yep.
So you need to wrestle a lot. Versus like for jiu-jitsu, I want to see like, can you train once to twice, 3 times a week and be in jiu-jitsu shape for a tournament?
Yeah.
There's only like 2-3 matches.
Yeah.
Should be able to.
Yep.
I mean, if we roll for 5-6 minutes and we're not like keeled over, like gasping for wind, it's like you should be able to compete. You just have to be able to control your adrenaline through it. And
see, it's like you already, just talking to you, you're way more invested in this goal already. It's exciting because I mean, like, you training for the idea is to get you motivated so you'd actually do the appropriate steps to make sure you're healthy, so you can do like actually achieve your goal. Before, when you talk about CrossFit, you're like, oh, I'm not even a CrossFitter. Like, it's like you're not showing up 10 minutes before class doing pistons and hinges and oblique openers because you're about to like,
I want a PR today.
Exactly. No. But now it's like, you're like, fuck, I don't want to get embarrassed or choked out. It's kind of scary, but it's also exciting. I want to do well. But you're like, I guarantee you're going to be doing a ton of FixFit now because...
I had that realization that I should use CrossFit for the conditioning when there was an open workout and Deej was coaching, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I should do an open workout with Deej because he's going to push me. I just don't... Because I don't care. Like I didn't care about my score. I cared about finishing the workout, and I wanted to show up and be part of the community that day. And he was like, you're not doing that weight. Drop down. And he wasn't talking shit, because at first I took it as shit talk, and I was like, no, I could do it. He's like, I know you can, but you're not going to fucking finish this workout.
Which is not,
that's not the point. And he made me scale it down to where it burned like the whole time, and I finished. And
there's no reason to put the bar down.
Right. And he was all, this is where you're at. He's like, are you trying to like be on the board today? I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck. Because that's what he gives me a hard time about too for the podcast. I hear you on the podcast saying I CrossFit and all this. He's like, he rolls his eyes in the car, and I'm like, I never say that, you asshole. I was like, I say I show up to CrossFit. I'm not a CrossFitter. Not a CrossFit. I don't care if my name's on the board. I I do like Olympic lifting, I do like powerlifting, but those goals of a certain weight,
yeah,
I was like, I can't see myself like ever competing in that.
But you need that push in terms of the conditioning.
Right.
And I like what you just said there, because like Jude already coined for us for the Fixer concept that tension zone.
Yes.
And I think the training mindset for the goals for CrossFit is really you're supposed to live in your intensity zone.
Right.
So if you modify something too heavy,
yes,
you're not having any intensity because you're like, oh, I do 1 rep and I have to wait fucking 2 minutes.
That's what he's saying. And I'm classic for doing that.
Intensity zone.
Classic for doing that.
Coin that shit right here.
I could do that weight. Yeah, I could totally do that weight, and I could suffer and not finish the workout. He's like, what's the fucking point then?
Yeah, because you're like ducking out. It's like if you have no intensity running like a mile around the track, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're just jogging it.
Yep.
It's better that you probably run a 400 because you could keep a top speed.
So I took that since that day, and I've tried my best to apply that. And there was like the 12 days of Christmas workout, and I was like, okay. Like, I know I could do this weight at this, but I could do this weight at that movement. And I was like, no, why don't I just keep it level playing field for myself, like, the whole time?
Yeah.
And it took me, like, 55 minutes, and I was just, like, drenched. Dude, just drenched. But I was like, I worked out for 52, 53 minutes or something like that, and finished.
That, I think
it's way more important.
You bring up a good point, because a lot of us, a lot of people listening probably like CrossFitters,
Mm-hmm.
It's reevaluate I've been doing CrossFit for like over 10 years now. You have to reevaluate your why and why you're CrossFitting, and it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're like, I want to hit PRs, I want to hit the open, I want to just use this as my social outlet, but have that goal like for you to figure out why you're there, because that's on you.
Yeah.
You can't just continue to hold that like mindset of like, oh, every time I step in the gym I should be able to pull 500, right? Like, why not? Oh, CrossFit's not working. Or it's like you have to figure out, why you're there and what your purpose is, If it's to try new things like double unders or toes to bar, like you have to set some of those goals too, because it doesn't have to always be like, I have to find a whole different regimen or this or that. It's like figure out at this point in your life, maybe the next couple months in the new year.
Yeah, like I've never been motivated for gymnastics movements, and now I found different FixFit variable things to do instead.
Yep.
And it's like, if that helps my shoulders feel better, maybe the gymnastic stuff comes later, but it's not like a goal of mine to work on,
Yeah.
Like a chest bar or a handstand.
And if you've done CrossFit long enough, you're probably the warning movements that fuck you up.
Yeah.
And so on Saturday we're doing a FixFit.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Type of finisher.
Yeah.
FixFit jack, and then we're doing dips, and then Dang hasn't done dips in a while, and then her shoulders had been hurting, but she's been doing the concept program, and then she did dips with no pain. She even added a dumbbell.
It's fucking dope.
And then she's like, oh, and I did 10-pound dips with.
She's like, her pec sore instead of her neck.
Yeah. So shit like that, where it's like maybe your goal can be the warning movements that fuck you up. Like if you've always had back issues, when you do a deadlift WOD, if your shoulders always hurt when you go overhead or snatching, we'll set a snatch or deadlift goal, and then if you get hit X, your old PR without pain, that's a pretty good goal. Yeah,
I think I just made it a goal to modify the right weight and then the right FixFit substitute, basically.
Yeah.
So if it's a handstand push-up, doing a log, but doing a log correctly to where my pecs are so freaking sore after, or oh man, I almost tweaked my lower. I've had that too, because I've there's handstand push-ups program so much where I was like, is doing the log always like bad for me, detrimental to me never being able to do that? But I'm like, no, going inverted is a skill, and I'd have to practice that, but I don't.
Exactly.
I'm not motivated to. So I'm like,
don't expect it.
I'm not going to expect it. Just one day I'm going to go inverted. And
I've been doing CrossFit for 3 years, and how come I don't have a handstand?
Right. So I'm like,
fucking work on it.
How can I still do log in a workout, log presses to substitute handstand push-ups without cheating myself or cheating the workout? And there was one, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, and I was doing the log for like reps, empty too, and my lower back was sore the next day. Completely didn't brace, or I wasn't squeezing, or my glutes weren't on.
Yeah. And just arching into the lower back,
because I was fatigued from other movements. And I went, oh, okay, so technically I hit the right stimulus basically, because I was like, my lower back was sore the next day. I compressed it, and it was tight. And I was like, well, let me try that again next time. Because I used to just be like, oh, I'm going to do heavy ones of those. And then it was shoulder strength in my eyes. And then I'd set it down and be like, you're done too quick.
Yeah.
So
maybe to, since we're talking about goals, like to bring you new life in what you do, especially like with CrossFit, right? The whole idea is you can modify or scale. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to change it within the way DJ and I were talking with programming and Leslie, is that it's not scaling or modifying, because then it gets it's not a substantial goal. It's not a fun goal.
Yeah.
So instead of like modifying, we're trying to like customize the workout. So to give you new life, instead of being like, oh shit, every time there's a handstand workout, you're like modifying or scaling to this log press, which doesn't seem like a cool goal.
Right.
But why do you have to stay into that mindset that this is handstand?
Right.
Make that fucking, like, people have a handstand goal. They want to do 1 push-up to like 10 handstand push-ups.
Right.
Or strict.
Right.
Then do the same thing where instead of thinking as it's some sort of like lesser scale, have that log press be your goal, be the standard, you know?
Exactly.
It's like, I want that log press today. I did it with back pain, it hurt or whatever, but fuck, make it like I want to log press 200 pounds strict.
And that's funny.
As substantial as 30 kipping handstand push-ups, right?
It was weird because I would go, if I usually add weight to it, right, to a log press, and I go, okay, the rep scheme's asking for 3 handstand push-ups, so I'm going to do 3 of them. And I go, boom. And I'm like, that's going way too fast compared to someone doing 3 handstand
It's not
push-ups.
challenging anymore.
Right. So then I just got lucky in that workout where it was like 10 handstand push-ups. And I did empty log 10 and my low back hurt.
Yeah.
But it's like, so you can do a heavy one because you have to stop there and think about it.
Yeah.
But empty log and you're tired and fatigued, you couldn't link 10 of them without your back.
I think it goes with the mindset, right? You're just like we talked about, there's no mindset prep going into it. Mm-hmm. You're just log pressing because it says handstand, I'm just going to modify.
Exactly.
Versus like, oh, I do have a substantial log press goal. I better use this time. It's like, instead of it being a scale, it's like you get the benefit of it being handstand push-ups today. Mm-hmm. And you're like, fuck, I'm going to push the strict 10 reps as hard as I can, you know?
Exactly.
It's just the little bit of change in how you approach it.
Did I do empty log 10 with no back pain? Cool. Next time I'm adding 10s.
Yep.
Because then it's going to, challenge me again in a different way.
It's just a FixFit way of being more efficient with your customization or training.
Tough to do.
It is.
It's new, and you're lucky at CrossFit Sun to have Leslie to turn to or Deej to turn to and be like, 115 for Christmas Day WOD. I could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to be fatigued for other movements.
And you're moving slow as shit because you have to take breaks.
And I'm going to take an hour and a half. So should I do 95? Yeah, definitely do 95, and then modify this way, modify this way, and then all of a sudden it's 52 minutes and I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
So. It's good. That's the benefit of going there, but it's not easy either to find. It's very challenging to find the right stimulus for yourself.
Yeah, because like again, we're the self-sabotage, right? We're like, oh, I'll never be able to, and I really don't care about today's skill of handstand walks, right?
Right,
it's
right.
Like, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna take it. Why don't you do like overhead dumbbell carries and go heavy as fuck?
Yeah.
But it's hard to self-motivate to get to that point.
And you're gonna have to self-motivate yourself, right? You can't. Always turn to Leslie to be like, if you don't want this, do this.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta go trial and error it yourself.
Because we don't do kip. A lot of people don't kip, so we do band skis as we call them. So it's like a rubber band or whatever, those stretch bands that hang from the top pull bar, and then you pull straight arms down. Like we use that as a modification for kipping, right? It toes the bar or pull up. But if you're just using the tiniest band and you're just like you said, going through the motions. Yeah. There's no burn. You're not going to failure. Like
so someone doing 10 toes to bar.
Yeah, that's struggling.
That takes
breaking like sets of 3,
and then you're over there going 10, done.
That's
on to the next thing. It's like
that's on you. You know, no one can go. Even if someone told you use a heavier band, we've tried it as a coach and stuff. It's just like, no, I'm gonna stay here. It's like you have to be able to. And I think the reason is not their fault. It's just they don't have a goal, so they just see it as today I'm just sweating. Mm-hmm. Which is fine, but that's not a long-term strategy. Or like you need little in-season, off-season. So like if you had some sort of like lift that this band pull down is going to help my deadlift, you're going to fucking take that movement seriously.
No, I think me and Monty a couple of weeks ago did that FixFit modification workout, and we kept the cardio component. We still wanted to sweat,
Yeah, we integrated. Like, we just changed, because our goal is the main lifts right now for Fix Your Concepts.
But you still made it hard, because you were like, remember I was like, did one round in rowing, and you're like, no, you got to go back every round in row. And I was all, oh, that makes it. Because I was like, damn, that was fast. I'm going to be done in like 15 minutes. And you're like, no, you got to go back every round in row 300. Oh, and I did. And then at the end, I was like, okay, that was hard. I was like, what the fuck is Mark doing? This is fucking easy. Or if we didn't row at all, we would have been done in 5 minutes.
I remember we used to say this a lot when we were back in the Olympic weightlifting days, is that when you approach the bar, the weight should scare you.
Yeah.
And if you have that mindset for the workouts you kind of modify or customize for yourself, or the variants or the exercises, that's a good rule of thumb. So if you're picking a band that doesn't feel like, oh, this is not going to get me fatigued, or like what you talking about, if you make a modification in the workout to fit in our pressing, I don't want it to make it an easier one. It's like, you're like, dude, this is a lot of rounds of row sprints. This is way harder.
Right.
And that's kind of the idea, is like, you should make it scare you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do should be like, man, these sprints on the sleds are going to hurt. And you're like, yeah, I know. Right. Versus like, let's make it easier. We're going to walk with it. It's not going to feel like anything. Let's just get through it.
Totally. No, it's good, man. It's good. FixFit implementation for next year.
Is that a Cairo term?
No. Implication. I don't know. We abbreviate everything.
Hey, it's the last days of the year.
I'll get it right in the new decade.
We have a whole new decade to practice. This was a wash. 2000.
We're still in year 1 of FixFit podcasting too, by the way. So
I'm surprised we've done so many.
I know, man. I can't even. I think it's episode like 41 or something.
That's nuts.
It's crazy, but we got plenty more coming. More programming, more templates, more specifications. I feel like I'm just throwing out words now. What the fuck?
This is great. I love it.
I'm limping into the new year.
I love how dumb you sound right now, because usually you're like the nerdy, educated, using the big words, and you're just like a specific.
Fucking limping in, dude. I'm limping into this year.
Hey, if you guys do listen all the way through, Happy New Year. But also, if you post your goal, post it online, tag us. I want to know your goal. We could be your accountability buddies.
I have one.
I want to see your goals. You got to post your shit too.
I will.
Tag me. Tag Ian. Tag FixFitness guys.
Oh, Wim Hof, you better come in clutch next year for me. I was gonna put you through the ringer here. I'm gonna really see if you work.
Hey, it worked for me during the workshop. That was the big event. So
we'll see if it works for competition and just day-to-day training when people are gonna beat the shit out of you. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to having accountability through the goals. And so mindset, I don't have a date yet. I probably should. I don't have a target weight yet. I probably should. I'll lock that in.
What's the weight class under where you're at now?
I've looked.
205? Is it like
207 and it with a gi?
Oh, that's weird.
I'll get a competition gi that's very light.
It's like silk.
I will invest. I will invest in a pajama gi for sure. So I don't know. Gis are usually like 4.5 pounds.
7 pounds.
Yeah, I still would want to be like under 200 or at 200, but I want to be not terrible weight cut, last minute water weight, losing strength.
No, you can't do that. Not in your advanced age.
But if you know, what's nice is like I saw the under like 30-year-old like categories, and I was like, oh shit, like there's like huge gaps in weight. Because they're just like, it's this or, everything under it.
Yep.
When you get a little older, they get a little more tighter. Oh, thank God. If I can't make that, I think it's like I still think it's like 218 or something. I'm like, that's too big, man. That's just, those guys are too big. They're going to be a lot taller than me. That's my problem. They're just fucking lanky dudes when you're at these over 200 weight classes.
This is exciting. It's like, I want to be part of the journey, but it's like all the stress is on you this time. Instead of me doing the 500 pounds, it's like you'll do a jiu-jitsu comp, let's say in April. We're training for that. Yeah. So I'm excited to be part of that side of this.
It'll be the diet, journey, making sure that I don't go ham on cheat days.
Yeah.
No sugar days, no like, oh, it's the weekends, get sushi, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, cutting that out will suck for a few months, but...
And it's also, I mean, we work with jiu-jitsu athletes, but it'll be interesting to see how we buffer the training, because once the frequency of training goes up with jiu-jitsu, you have different injuries that happen, wear and tear stuff, a lot of tweaked neck muscles and, pec and shoulders.
I really am just going to keep it like, I don't want to fight anybody in training. I think that was the old school mentality, was like, hey, you got a competition, you're going to be monkey in the middle.
Yeah.
And everyone's just going to round robin you until you're dead. Because I think, like, I've thought of that multiple times when you guys talk CrossFit, that it was just like, hey, we're going to make you work out till you puke days. And that you need a blend of, yes, you need that, but not every fucking day,
Yeah.
So, but that's what it was. In the mornings, you would do cardio, especially for jiu-jitsu. Wrestling was different because we were, high school and stuff, so you had different things. But for jiu-jitsu, it was, we're going to meet every day in the morning and do calisthenics and running and
conditioning.
And no carbs. We ate no carbs. We never drank, nothing. And at night, we did competition training. So it was like, monkey in the middle.
That's
three
how
guys,
you used to train.
These 4 are competing, so you guys are in the middle, and
they're gonna keep going.
Fresh bodies are gonna whoop your ass.
Jeez.
And it sucked. And it's like, I don't want to do that again. But it's also didn't win anything. Yeah. A couple guys bowed out of tournaments because they tweaked a knee, or
Yeah. It's definitely not the ideal way to train these days.
The way to train is like Cap does, man. It's perfect, and he's competing. He could compete once a month the way he's doing it. Versus mine was like all out for this one, and then it was done. And then it was all out for this one, and it was done. And it was like 2 tournaments a year.
I think Cap does more pistons than everyone combined.
Pistons for life hashtag, dude. He's got
amazing.
That shit trending.
It's so good because,
he likes to grow those quads, man.
Damn. I need Cap's motivation.
Yeah.
But that's what he's doing.
He's be my nutrition coach.
He's doing more FixFit than ever, or just training than ever, because he has those substantial goals. He's competing at 50, picking up a combat sport at 50.
Yeah.
It's like, that's
and like
scary.
I said, I think he did, his 2 tournaments were like back-to-back weekend, or months, it felt like, maybe a month apart.
But he's, like, the thing is, he didn't jump into it. He's doing so much, if you could follow him online, he's doing so much training and working on everything he needs to prep for these things.
Yep. He
has the goal. He's, we could copy that model of,
and I guarantee you there's not
substantial goal.
He's not having training days where he's monkey in the middle getting hammered by a bunch of young kids in class.
No, even when we do our little jiu-jitsu underground rolls, like, he barely rolls with us because he's smart. He doesn't want to.
That's where I want to do it. Just like,
he doesn't want to risk.
We'll go live a few times, but the way that we rolled with Mata was perfect. Like 5 minutes. It's a lot of playing. He calls it playing.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's great. We meet each other's intensity, and hopefully the intensity is like 60%. And that's it. And it will translate a long way because their conditioning should be good.
Right. So why can't people take that, like, training smarter mindset with sports? They should. Let's just say that hopefully everyone does, like with jiu-jitsu, or maybe if they're playing a sport, and take that to, like, fitness and exercise. Because it's like, you shouldn't hit, like you talked about, there should be a blend. You're not getting into a CrossFit workout or F45 Orange Theory or whatever, and you shouldn't go fucking 100 miles an hour every day. How come there's no, like, switch of, like, I'm an athlete?
Again, it's not
like, I have a goal. I don't want to kill my joints. I want to do this for the rest of my, like, it is.
It's a clear goal.
It's weird.
It's the lack of goal setting.
Every time people step in, it seems like a CrossFit gym. It's like, go for broke.
It's because, and what do you get out of it at the end of the day?
Broke. You do go for broke, literally.
You're the fittest guy in the gym of 100 people. That's cool. It's a cool title to walk around with. But, like, what the fuck does that mean? Are you strong?
Torn labrum. I don't know.
Like, and then, are you strong? Yeah, I could put up this number, this number. No. Does your back hurt when you go to work the next day?
Yeah. You're strong with these
fucking sciatica sitting in my chair, and it's like, oh, you really won then, didn't you? It's like, come on.
But it all goes down to people don't view, we'll sum it all up, is like, people don't view themselves as an athlete.
Yeah.
And the importance of that, because I've talked about how I don't like that competition side where you're trying to compete against each other. Mm-hmm. But the importance of viewing yourself as an athlete is that you got to do your due diligence and take care of your fucking self.
Yes.
Because you are the product. You are valuable. An athlete, they're getting paid millions of dollars or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's one extreme. But you're also getting paid to work.
Or those pros have a ton
kids,
of...
you have whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you are valuable. And if you don't view yourself as an athlete and you go for broke every time you step on to doing anything, like, I'm going to go fucking the Spartan race or hike a mountain without doing any training, that's where I think the problem lies, is you just view yourself as, I'm just trying to lose some weight or something.
Yeah, and that's where you get the hamster wheel thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've lost the weight, now what? And it's like, if you don't have that bigger picture of down the line, it's like, Cap's like, I competed. What if he competes, every other month next year? And that's 6 tournaments. What if he does that and goes, yeah, but I'm going to be a black belt in 10 years? Like, that's his mentality.
Yeah, he's not just competing for, that's the end goal.
Right.
The end goal is the, like,
he wasn't like, I got 6 gold medals.
Yeah. And
now I'm a purple belt. It's 10 years from now, I'm going to be a black belt. That's what I'm in for.
Longevity.
That's what's different. You show up to F45 and hamster wheel it and lose the weight, but then what do you get at the end of the day?
Yeah. That's where the derailing happens, is even in CrossFit, anything that gets you to lose weight quickly because of lifestyle change, but it really isn't a lifestyle change, is that, 90 days of toughing it out.
Yep.
Toughing it out is not viewing yourself as an athlete. No one goes into a sport like, I'm going to step on this basketball court, tough it out for 2 hours. I'm here to get better. I'm here to have fun,
Yep.
Got to have goals.
They'll be set. FixFit 2020 goals, man. Can't wait, man. Got so much stuff coming.
I'm excited.
Much. Let's go work out right now.
Hell yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
2020. FixFit.
Future's bright and clear. 2020 vision.